Holy hot dogs, the spectacular collapse of one of the world's largest crypto exchanges is being called bigger than Enron, potentially ruining the lives of millions of people. Founder Sam Bankman-Fried, oh good, he's just nasty. And such an asshat super douche. Huge Democrat donor, reportedly holed up in the Bahamas. Lawmakers set to drag him in front of Congress next month to explain how his company lost billions of dollars. And now a bunch of high-profile celebs, including handsome Tom Brady, Shaquille O'Neal, Larry David, they're all included in an $11 billion class action lawsuit for promoting the failed platform in primetime commercials. Earlier this year, Bankman-Fried spoke to her own Liz Clayman about regulations that may have prevented his company's collapse. And he was all for the regulations. What a tool. Watch.
What do you anticipate will happen?
I'm optimistic that over the next year or so, we'll see some really substantial steps forward in the global regulatory environment and the U.S. regulatory environment for cryptocurrencies.
Gosh, I wonder why he was donating to the party in power. That's so weird. Maybe so he'd have a bunch of friends in office when he got in trouble. Oh, I think a regulatory environment. Eat sand, jerk. So how did this guy swindle so many people out of so much worth? Joining me now, chief Bitcoin historian at CoinGeek, Kurt Wuckert Jr. is in the house. So Kurt, how did this happen?
Well, unfortunately, Kennedy, it's a symptom of a whole lot of things. I think this actually started a few months back when the 3AC company collapsed. We've seen Celsius collapse, and now FTX is the biggest domino to fall. But I think the real problem is that they're keeping money on each other's exchanges, and everybody's promising each other 10%, 15% yields on holding stable coins. And I think they're playing a lot of really crazy games. And I actually think the worst of this news probably hasn't come out yet.
Oh, like what? Tell me everything. What do you know? What do you think you know?
Well, just based on all the players, some of the other people that are in the Bahamas, there's Deltec Bank, there's Tether Corporation, really the largest liquidity in the entire crypto economy are all tangled up here. Sam is not an anomaly. Sam ran the #2 liquidity exchange on Earth. And Binance took them down, but a lot of people don't realize Binance also has gone offline a couple of times. When 3AC collapsed, Binance went down. Just today, we saw Gemini's Earn platform, as well as Genesis Trading, which is the largest lender in the space. Genesis is one of those companies behind all the other companies do the same thing. They're saying, hey, we're going to take a little pause here. And that's really concerning.
So what happens to these people who were at least theoretical billionaires for a while, including Sam, including CZ, including the Winklevi? What happens to their net worth? Does it evaporate? Were they somehow insulated? Did they insulate each other secretly while grifting, millions and billions of dollars from investors?
It's possible. We think they're billionaires, but they're paper billionaires. We don't know that they ever actually had those billions of dollars in the first place. They were largely printing tokens out of thin air. Like the collapse at FTX came from the collapse of the FTT token.
Yes.
So this was money that they printed out of nowhere, and then it wasn't worth anything. That really shouldn't shock anybody.
So do you think when Sam was appealing to CZ at Binance, do you think he really thought that that other guy was going to help him? Because he really just kind of turfed him the second he got a chance.
It's hard to know. CZ has a little bit of that gangster vibe going on, and it's hard to know how much power he actually has. You mentioned the Winklevi. I actually think they're probably in the best position, given that they are a New York regulated exchange, and they're probably forced to do things well. But when you're talking about CZ, that's a guy who's had his company in 5 jurisdictions over the last 5 years. And, he's running that company out of a bunch of hotel rooms, and he's always somewhere new. So it's really hard to know who's actually in charge. Are these people just trying to stay $1 ahead of the feds?
Yes, it sounds really like it, and they'll figure out an environment if they can hold on to enough money to skirt their way out of these regulations and out of accountability. So what about average investors, people who were just trying to get into crypto because they had never had a foot in finance before and they felt like it was a level playing field? What should they do?
Well, right now, I think they're probably going to luck out, given that some of the biggest names in the world, I mean, the Sequoia Capitals of the world, also got burned here. So some of the best lawyers in the world are going to get hired to untangle this thing. And mom and pop are probably going to get to be part of a pretty nice class action. But unfortunately, class action suits, what are you getting? 10 cents on the dollar if you're lucky. So
well, hopefully,
it really is just unfortunate.
All these people didn't lose everything. I know Tom Brady has a handsome payday, as handsome as his chin when he comes to Fox. Kurt, thank you so much. Great talking to you. We'll talk again.
Thank you.